5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to echo a chorus of thank yous to each of you for coming today. I know sometimes witnesses may wonder if their presence here matters, and whether it's in this hearing room or whether you're coming to our congressional offices, you being able to tell that story to us matters. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for helping us do the right thing on behalf of this country. Yeah, y'all's stories, in which particularly Ms. Peterson and Ms. Hilton, in which the way you tell them, the grace with which you present them, probably belies a lot of the pain and the hurt that preceded you being here today. So thank you for having the courage to do it, and thank you for being so candid with us. I want to start with a couple of questions here. Ms. Peterson, I'll start with you. You have talked a lot today in your testimony and also in response to questions about this cliff that so many people hit when they turn 18, and then there's an expectation of work and productivity and leading life. And you've spoken very eloquently about how important it is to have that work and those steps going forward. I was particularly interested in the piece that you talked about with your own experience of understanding a budget and understanding, how to move forward. I think that's really important when you look at trying to break the cycles of poverty. But tell me your thoughts on not only teaching that to our foster children, but in many cases to the foster parents that are there as well, because all too often, many of our foster families, suffer from lack of financial knowledge and financial resources as well. I would be happy if you could comment on not only the need to financial literacy with foster youth, but the families that are taking care of them.
Yeah, well, first I want to say thank you for acknowledging that telling our stories is hard, but I also want to say that, being able to do this is so healing. When you see that the worst parts of your life and the worst things that you've been through and all your pain might be able to be used for some kind of good, it's a very healing experience. So thank you. Yeah, in terms of foster parents needing financial literacy, I haven't seen that or necessarily experienced, so that's something that's needed. But we know that 30 to 50% of foster parents quit within the first year. It's so hard to retain foster parents, and that's because of all of the things that are required of us. I love being a foster parent, but it is actually probably the most frustrating thing that I've ever done, and it has actually completely changed my perspective of my foster parents. I think I used to be a lot harder on them, and now I realize that I think they did actually quite well with what they had, considering everything that all the red tape and all the requirements that they had to meet. And I know those things are for liability and accountability, and they very much are needed. But I say all this because I think when we're talking about what do we need to support youth as they age out of care, we need to meet them, again, before they're aging out, and we need more foster parents. My husband and I have to say no to a foster placement every week.
Thank you,
and
Ms.
it's
Peterson.
Devastating. But
Thank you.
we can't do it all.
If I could, because I want to move on another question. Ms. Hilton, I have, it's something that concerns me greatly is mental health of our youth in general, but it's also very challenging in the foster care program. And there seems to be a major problem with just overprescribing psychotropic drugs and just saying here's a handful of pills. Can you share with the committee your experience with that, and do you think that is a problem in our system today, and what you think you should do to correct that, or what we should do to correct that?
I think it's a huge problem. Before I went to Provo Canyon School, the only medication I had ever taken was a Tylenol or an Advil for a headache. I had never been on any medications that they prescribed, which weren't even prescribed by a doctor. And every morning, every lunch, every afternoon, we would give us all a cup full of pills. I had no idea what they were. All I know is that I would feel dizzy, I would feel my memory would be gone. It was almost like they were just trying to make everyone like zombies. It was just very concerning. And I think that they're definitely abusing that power where they are just giving children medication that they don't need. And I think that's something that really needs to be looked into because
Well, one
I think-
answer, and Mr. Chairman, if you could indulge me here for just a few seconds. We have one of our colleagues, Ms. Steele, has a bill that addresses this on foster youth mental health support, and it really does try to address some of these standards. So I'd like to commend my colleague from California for taking this up, and we need to be supportive of her bill. Again, thank you all for being here. Thank you for telling the stories and helping us be better at what we do up here. Yield back, Mr. Chairman.